Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the next session of KETIV Autodesk Virtual Academy. My name is Andy Deal, and I'm your host today. And today, Grayson Dunnivan will be talking about setting up AutoCAD Electrical projects. But before we get started, there's some reminders that I wanted to talk about for the audience. If you can go ahead and move on to the next slide, Grayson. I'm sure all of you have heard a lot of information and news about this, but I just want to make sure that all of our customers are aware that next year Autodesk will stop selling any new perpetual licenses. So there's two key dates to remember. January 31st, 2016 is the last day you can purchase new perpetual licenses. And July 31st, 2016, that's when you cannot buy any new suites perpetual licenses. So the January 31st is for standalone licenses, and July 31st is for suites. So if you're not aware of this, this is important information that you need to know. I just want to make sure that we remind everybody. And there's also a current promo that's going on right now, ending next week, for perpetual licenses purchase. So if you're interested, please talk to your respective KETIV account manager. So for those of our customers who are new to KETIV Autodesk Virtual Academy, this is a benefit provided to KETIV subscriber. And every Thursday at 10 a.m., we will have a session. Normally, it will last about 30 minutes. It's a online training, tips and trick, questions and suggestions that we get from various customers that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And it covers various topics related to the design and manufacturing industry. And these sessions are delivered by KETIV certified instructors. And from time to time, we will have Autodesk product managers, subject matter experts, and sometimes we'll invite customers as well to deliver some of this content. It's a very useful tool, and again, it's available to all KETIV subscriber every Thursday at 10. And so it's a good thing to subscribe to. You can see some of the upcoming sessions that we have. We talk about Fusion 360, Vault, Inventor, and all matter that's related to Autodesk. So at this point, I will transition the presentation over to our presenter, Grayson Dunnivan. Go ahead, Grayson. Take it over.
Thank you, Andy. Like Andy said, my name is Grayson Dunnivan. I'm an application engineer here at KETIV. I come to KETIV with about close to a decade's worth of experience in plant, food processing, and then also water treatment. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about AutoCAD Electrical. So for the users that we have on here that might not know exactly what AutoCAD Electrical is, it is an industrial electrical design software that is based on the AutoCAD platform using native AutoCAD geometry, but it's been purpose-built for electrical controls. You can use this for ladder schematics, point-to-point schematics, and also panel layouts. But further than that, you also have database management, bill of materials, and automatic report generation. If you already have Product Design Suite Ultimate, then you have access to the software, but it's also available as a standalone application. So now we kind of reviewed what AutoCAD Electrical is, I want to talk about projects. Now, projects are what AutoCAD Electrical needs to function. It's the way that the program talks to the drawings that you'll be adding into it. And a project is a set of related electrical drawings that make up a particular drawing set. The actual project file itself is a text document that contains file paths and descriptions for drawings, folder structures that you've designated within the project, and then any default settings that can be referenced when new drawings are created and added to the project. Another great thing about these projects is that it enables you to create your own company standards. Every designer has his or her own way of doing things, and then template projects give you a way to kind of minimize the confusion in the long run, especially when you're going backwards and trying to use something again. And then it also helps you with the saving time on setup. Each time you create a new project, you have to input settings and then manipulate those to your preference. Using a template project can prevent a user from repeating necessary but also time-consuming work. Today I want to go through a few different things with you as far as creating a template project and establishing standards for your template. And then I'm also going to show you how you can transfer those settings to a new project or just copy a project altogether. Now when you copy a project, it will include any drawings that you've had in there as well. So if you find that you always use the same set of drawings, maybe you have a schematic, a panel, and then also a bill of material, you can have those already incorporated with whatever information that you want. And then when you copy the project, it'll pull all that in there for you, so you don't have to worry about going through and creating these drawings every single time. So let's move over onto the demonstration side. Okay, so here we have our AutoCAD Electrical interface. If you look on the left-hand side, you'll notice that we have our project manager. Now, the project manager is where you're going to manage your projects. It's, you can open, create your new projects, add new drawings to your projects. You can also even update your title blocks through here as well. But what I'm going to show you today is we're going to actually walk through from start to finish on getting a new project created for you. Now inside this dialog box, you'll notice a few different fields. We'll have our name, we'll have the location where the project will be saved, and then there's a little checkbox right here that I kind of want to spend a little bit of time talking about. If you uncheck this, what it does is it creates... Yeah.
We're not seeing the dialog box. Is it? Can you move it up maybe a little bit? Or? Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there it goes. Yep. Okay, sorry about that. So you have your name. You have right here. You have your location, and that's where that'll be going to. And then this little dialog box, this check mark right here. What it does is it creates a folder with your project name. So if you want to have this active, you can. But if you don't want to have those folders saved that way, you can just unenable it, and then it won't happen. And then down below here, you'll notice that we have copy settings from project file. Now this is where, after you set up your template project, you can make a reference back to that and then just pull out any of that information for your project properties or maybe your drawing properties that you already have set up. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this out for right now. And then we're going to save this. We'll just dump it into my documents. And then we're going to create the folder for the project name, and we'll just call this KETIV. And what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into the project properties. Okay, so inside the project properties, there are a few different ways you can control the program. I want to talk a little bit about the different icons that we have available to us. And in order for you to better understand what is happening, AutoCAD Electrical has put these icons. You'll have projects will be displayed as folders, and then any drawing properties will be displayed as a drawing file, just the typical drawing bitmap that's always been used for AutoCAD. Inside the project settings, you'll have your schematic libraries, and then this is where the program is actually going to look to find your component libraries that you have. You're also going to be able to find any panel footprints that you already have loaded into the software. You'll have your catalog lookup file preference, so this will be if you have your own catalog set up, you can actually make the program only look from that area. So you can kind of limit what people are going to see. Inside your components, you're going to have component tag options, and this is a way for you to have a little bit more control over the entire project as far as the information that will be displayed inside of your components. Now, another difference between the drawing properties and the project properties are that project properties will automatically be enabled through the entire project. Drawing properties are more of a placeholder, and it's still kind of wanting that information to be there so that when you create these drawings, it's just going to place it in there for you. A good example of this, especially with the project properties, is the description text uppercase. What this will do is it'll make all your description text uppercase, and just in case you forgot to do this earlier in the project, if you just come here and enable this option, it'll sweep through all the drawings and then it'll update it for you. In our wire number tab, this is another one that's commonly used. You can set up your formatting for your wire numbers. You can make it sequential, or you can also have a line reference. And then this is, again, if you notice icon right here, this is a drawing property. If you come down to the wire number options and you see the icon with the folder, this is a project property. One of the big ones that you'll find that you use is the drawing format, and this is especially useful for when you're using ladder schematics or multi-phase. And what we're going to do is actually update a few of these properties so that I can show you how, when we do these copy projects, it'll automatically input these settings for us. So I'm going to change the spacing to 1. Now, the spacing controls the distance between each of your rungs. I'm going to change the width to 9, and this is going to expand the width of your ladder so you can fit more components on it. And I'm going to leave the multi-wire spacing alone. 0.5 tends to work pretty well for it. Another option that we have too are our format referencing. So I like personally to use reference numbers. The XY grid and X zones are good for traceability. And then we also have our scale. So if you find that the components you're getting aren't the exact scale or they're too small, you can always scale up the drawing size. Let's go ahead and press OK. All right, so now that we have our drawing prop or our project property set up, I'm going to add a few drawings to this project. We're going to come over, we're going to activate the project, right-click, and then go down to New Drawing, and we're going to open up our Create New Drawing dialog box. Now this is where we're going to enter our information, so let's make this a schematic drawing. We're going to use the AutoCAD Electrical template that's already installed. It's going to automatically put this into the location of where the project was saved. And then we can also give it descriptions so that it'll just pull this information to our title block for us. I'm going to put schematic drawing here. And do OK. So now if we come back over to the project manager, you're going to see that it's underneath the folder of our project KETIV. It's added in the schematic drawing. It's also made it our current active drawing. And I'm going to show you a little bit of the differences between the drawing properties and project property dialog box. So you'll notice that rather when we did project properties, the first dialog box tab that we came to was showing us where to get our library information. Inside the drawing properties, it's just going to have the drawing settings. Now, you can look at drawing properties as unique to each drawing, where project properties are project-wide defaults. Another way to say this is that our drawing properties are overrides, or a way to make adjustments to your project template, kind of like an exception to the rule. The rest of the tabs, components, wire numbers, cross-references, styles, and drawing format is the exact same thing. And this is kind of where having those icons inside your project properties helps you understand how the program is going to be using that information that you store. If we come over to our drawing format, you'll notice that it already put in the spacing as 1 and the width as 9, which we designated before. It left it alone as reference numbers, so it looks like we're all set. Let's go ahead and close this. It'll apply those properties, and then I'm just going to drop in a couple ladders real fast. And now inside the insert dialog box for the ladder, you'll see that our width is at 9, our spacing is at 1. Press OK. Drop this in. We have our ladder created. I'm going to change this to 31 for our reference. Press OK. Drop in our second ladder. And then I'm going to save this. Now what this has done is now I've already set up 2 ladders for my designers to use. When they open up, they don't have to worry about resetting this up. When I copy this project, it'll automatically include this for me. I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to make another drawing, and we're going to make this a panel drawing. Now, this might be another drawing inside my company that my designers frequently use, especially for doing panel layouts. And then another one that's typically seen is a bill of material. So I'm going to add a third drawing. Call this bomb. And then press OK. Alright, so now we have our project, our schematic, our panel drawing, and then also bill of material all set up. So we have, right now, we have our template project set up. We have the style set how we want to. We have any of the drawing information that we want to standardize. It's all in place. So the only thing left to do now is show our designers how to reference this data. So I'm going to close this out. I'm going to switch to a different project so that we can copy it. So we're going to activate this one. And then we're going to come up to our project tab, and we're going to use this copy command. Now inside this copy command, it's going to tell us to look for an existing project. We have the ability to either copy from the active project. So if you were working on a project that was pretty similar, you could just grab it and just copy over to a new one. It's also maybe a good way to kind of test things out without affecting the project that you're currently working on, and it'll just copy all that information for you. So let's go over here and browse for that project. Go to my documents. I'm going to scroll down to KETIV. And then here you'll see this WDB file or WDP file. This is your project file. This is the document that will save all these settings. Press open. And OK. Next, it's going to be asking us to select the path and also the file name for the new document. So we're going to go into this KETIV copy project, and let's go ES503 for fun, and save. It's also, this next box is going to ask us which drawings we want to copy. Now, if you find that you don't need all those drawings, or if you have, maybe it's a really built-up template and everything's really specific, you can come in here and you can actually tell it which drawings you want to copy. For now, we're just going to go ahead and do all and press OK. If we have any project-related files like title blocks set up, project line labels, if you have component descriptions, even location codes or installation codes, These are all things that you can use when you're setting up or you're actually doing your design. And you can reference the standard information so that you can, it's one of those things, again, you can control who's going to be doing what. It limits the amount of he's going to do it his way or she's going to do it his way or her way. Press OK. Now, another cool thing too is we can also adjust new file names. You can find and replace. So if you have a specific project suffix or prefix to your drawings or even your project fields, you can find and replace. So you can take ES503 and turn it to ES504, or maybe template and then turn that into a project name. So I'm going to leave everything alone for right now. It's going to be updating. It'll make it as our active project. It'll open up the first drawing that we have available. It'll rename everything how we want it to. And then let's just go ahead and jump into the properties real quick. Jump over to our drawing format. And you'll see that our width is 9, our spacing is 1. It's included our schematic drawing, our panel drawing, and our bill of material. And this is how you set up a drawing template. So that's a little bit of recap what you just saw. I walked you through how to set up and create your template project. I taught you a little bit about project versus drawing properties and the way that they interact with your project. We also saw how to add new or existing drawings to your project template. And then I showed you where you can copy the settings and how that's used, and also how to copy existing projects for your template. So what are some next steps that you can do? You can go to our blog at blog.ketiv.com. This is an excellent place to see up-to-date tech tips as far as AutoCAD Electrical. Autodesk also has a very excellent blog on some more advanced topics for AutoCAD Electrical. It's called the Autodesk Point-to-Point blog. If you want some more information, we have the AutoCAD Electrical Essentials course. The next one is available on November 16th and 17th. It's a 2-day training course that is available either online or here at the Brant facility. And we also offer setup and configuration services, either setting up your templates, establishing workflow processes, and then we'll also work with you on database configuration and getting your components worked out. Now we're going to move on to our Q&A session.
All right. Thank you, Grayson. So at this time, if you have any questions, please go ahead and type it in the Q&A panel on your GoToWebinar Control Center. And while we're waiting for questions to come in, I do want to remind everyone that as you log off, there's a short 5-question survey that comes up. Please take a couple minutes to fill that out. That will sure help us a lot, for things like future topics and just give us a feedback and let us know how we did today. Question for you, Grayson, is how does AutoCAD Electrical work with Vault, and can we use it in conjunction with Vault?
Yeah, that's a great question actually. Vault and Electrical work really well together. It's exactly the same way as it works with other programs. And you can use Vault Basic and all the way up from there. So you don't have to have Vault Professional in order to utilize it. You can use Vault Basic.
Excellent. Another question that came in was, when you were setting up projects, once you set up, let's say, a project exactly the way that you want it, can you go back and reapply those settings to drawing that you set up previously that may not have followed the current rules and things like that?
You can. You have to make sure. Okay. So the difference between the project properties and the drawing properties are that project properties will automatically update any of the information. Now, you can think of project properties like your title block information, the text being all capitalized, but your drawing properties, it won't go back and change your anything that's already drawn out. So for instance, if you went back and changed your width and then the spacing for your rungs to 0.5 and 7, it won't update the rungs that you already have in place. You'd have to go back and actually go inside the schematic drawing and then renumber that with the ladder tool.
All right. I think that's all the questions that we have for today. I do want to remind everyone that I think we have another AutoCAD Electrical session that's coming up in a few months. I think in December we're going to be talking about AutoCAD Electrical custom components. Can you give us a couple bullets point preview for that one, Grayson, or do you want to wait?
I think I'm still working on a topic for that one, but I actually was thinking about doing components and how to set up your own custom ones. It seems like a lot of people are looking how to do that, and I think that'd be a great topic.
All right, so keep a lookout for our invitation for that one. All right, and as Grayson had mentioned before, there's a lot of resources online. I do suggest that you subscribe to our blog at blog.ketiv.com. There's also our YouTube channel where there's a lot of tech tips and things, not just on electrical, but on pretty much everything Autodesk, and then there's tons of information on there. Also, don't forget to subscribe to, our Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, always a lot of useful information. With that, and on behalf of all of the KETIV team today, I thank you for joining us, and have a great day.
Yep. Thank you, everybody.